So guys, with a brand new season of Marvel Rivals comes a brand new character, and this time we have Gambit, who is by far probably the most complicated support hero that we have in this entire game, so that's why I'm here making a guide for him, going over all of his abilities and just some tips I have for anybody interested in playing him. And I know that a lot of people are definitely interested due to the amount of duelist players who keep on stealing Gambit and then forgetting that he's an actual strategist and is meant to be healing his allies as well as doing damage. So let's jump into all of his abilities here so that hopefully everybody can understand how Gambit works and play him the best they can. With that said, let's jump in first with his abilities here. You can pause the screen and just read them all if you want, because I'm not going to read them word for word, but there are quite a lot of abilities here, so let's just jump straight in. First off with his basic attack. This is where he just throws cards out in front of him in a spread-like pattern. The further away you are from a target, the less likely all the cards are going to hit, which means the reduced damage and a wider spread. 20 meters seems to be the maximum range that these cards have for all of them to hit a target, so as long as you're within that range, you should be doing decent damage on these bots. It takes about 5 shots to kill, so keep that in mind. Now, for his first ability, you have a melee attack here, which is his only source of melee damage outside of his basic normal melee. He slams the ground with his polearm and does decent damage, but you're not really going to want to use this ability on its own, because if you pair it with the dash, you get an enhanced ability. So if you use your dash as is, it's a pretty basic dash. But if we come over here to these bots here, if we dash and polearm, we do a little spin that also actually heals the bots, and because we're spinning as well, we'll also be dealing damage to any enemies that we run into as well. Now, it's not the best heal, but it's a little something and can help when you're in those close range team fights. Now, going into his next two abilities, these are the Heart deck and the Spade deck. These are easily the most confusing abilities that Gambit has. Now, these are the abilities that are also going to be spending the 4 cards that you see at the center of your screen. By pressing LB or RB once, you'll be spending 1 card and going into an enhanced state. For LB, you get the Heart deck buff, which will give you a heal over time. If you press RB, you'll be getting a Spade deck buff, which will be giving you a damage boost over time. Now, the damage boost isn't anything crazy, neither is the heal, so really, you shouldn't really be using these abilities on their own. You're mainly going to want to be using the flush or raise abilities that you get once you're in those healing or damage boosted states. For the heal deck, if you flush, you'll be sending out the entire deck, which will ricochet between any allies that need healing, including yourself. It's a very potent heal and is honestly the best that Gambit has, and if you do instead LB and raise, this is an AoE cure that will actually remove any debuff on an ally. This includes any debuff presented by an enemy's ultimate, so it can literally just negate an entire Groot ult if you want, which is very, very good, but also very situational. So saving 2 cards for those moments is going to be good, but also you shouldn't just be holding on to 4 cards at a time just in case an enemy ults. You're still going to want to be spending them as often as you can, whilst also managing them well enough so that you don't run out of cards completely. Now, going into the Spade deck here, if we activate Spade and Raise, this will send out a pushing wave that will basically just push enemies away. Now, I haven't really used this ability much at all due to how potent the other enhanced abilities are, but to just give you an idea of the push radius there, it's okay. It's nothing crazy, but it can be good, but it's also just very situational. Going into his other ability though, this is basically an Ana anti-heal grenade, but it doesn't completely just negate healing for the target hit. It will just reduce how much healing they receive. And it's a very good ability, mainly because the projectile itself goes in a complete straight line. There is no arc fall off, there's no nothing. Wherever your reticle is, that's where the deck is going to go, and it's going to explode and just anti-heal enemies. Now, once again, does not negate healing. They are still going to be able to be healed, but it will just reduce how much healing they receive, which is very, very nice. This is honestly going to be the biggest skill gap between a good Gambit player and a bad Gambit player. Simply just managing your different resources here will make a difference, because if you're just spamming these different abilities willy-nilly and completely running out of your resource, you're not going to be able to heal the team nearly as much as you should be. You're going to definitely want to be throwing in your base normal attack, because the healing on it is pretty decent, and it can pierce through allies, which is very, very good, especially because of the spread on it. You can heal multiple allies at a time if you're far enough away, which is insanely, insanely good. Now, although some of his abilities are very, very strong and he has quite a lot of movement, he is not a duelist character, guys. He is a strategist. Most of his abilities are set around team play, especially when we talk about his ultimate, which is one of the most unique ultimates in this entire game. So when you pop it, you'll see that you're able to mark your fellow teammates, and any teammate that gets marked will then have these cards that float around them. Any attack that they then do will have a secondary explosion attached to them, which just gives them a free damage basically, but they'll also receive enhanced ultimate regeneration as well as a purify, which is the same as the cleanse that we talked about earlier, and it seems they're also going to get a little bit of healing over time as well. So it's just a very, very good ultimate. Say like your Spider-Man or any one of your other DPSs is close to their ult, you pop yours, top them off so that they can ult, they're going to be getting some increased damage, it heals, it purifies, it does everything. It's such a good ult, and I cannot tell you how many times I've just won team fights simply because of Gambit's ult. It's so, so good. Like, it's just insane, and I'm so, so happy that it is not just another healing circle that we see on literally every other support. It's something unique, and it is so, so satisfying when you actually use it at the correct time, enhance all of your teammates, and then they just go crazy on the enemy team. It's so, so satisfying, and honestly makes Gambit one of the more fun supports to play, simply because you're not just holding on to your ultimate waiting for the enemy team to do something crazy, so you can just put down a defensive or supportive dome. Now, that is basically Gambit's whole kit. Going into some tips now, like I previously mentioned, the dash and melee combo is quite insane. You can cover a large distance with this combo, especially because you have 2 charges of it. It's literally the one saving grace that Gambit has if you're in a pinch, if you're getting jumped by an enemy, if you're in a bad position, literally just dash away and you'll be completely fine. Alongside that, main thing when it comes to the decks, like I've said before, you're mainly going to be wanting to manage the resource enough so that you can always have 2 cards available for the enhanced abilities. But that said, if you're in a situation where you need a little bit of healing for yourself, using the basic abilities isn't bad, but just really, really do be careful with your resource here, because you don't want to be just constantly using the one-off abilities to just be getting the singular benefits due to how potent the enhanced abilities are, especially with the anti-healing deck and the healing deck that ricochets between your allies. They're so potent that it's really just scary at first to use the single abilities on their own. Now, this is all going to come down to just playing with the character and understanding when and where to use his abilities, but once you get the hang of it, Gambit easily becomes one of the most fun supportive characters simply because of his unique kit, his movement, and just the way he feels. It's so, so satisfying, and it's just a whole load of fun. Now, in terms of team-ups, he does have a team-up with Magneto. Doesn't require you to do anything special, it just grants Magneto another ability. So if you have a Magneto, congratulations, you've just given them a brand new ability, which I think is pretty decent. And that is basically everything for Gambit. Now, the only thing that I can see them potentially changing about Gambit would be the resource that he has with his cards. I feel like it's kind of weird how currently there is no way of increasing the regeneration speed of his cards. I would kind of like it if, like, whenever I healed an ally with my basic attack, that I gain a little bit of extra energy there for my cards. But other than that, there's nothing really else I can see them changing too much. He is very, very strong at the moment, so if he does get nerfed a little bit, I can completely understand that. But guys, he is so much fun. Strategist players have definitely won here. He is easily my new favourite character in this entire game, and I'm going to be trying my hardest now to get that Lord icon, because it all just looks so, so good, man. It's so clean. Now, I'm hoping that this video has helped duelist players particularly, because now whenever you steal Gambit from me because you're faster at picking him, you'll at least now have slightly more knowledge about the character and can hopefully heal me when I need it. That said though, that is it for my Gambit guide here, guys. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate it. Also, follow me on Twitch if you're interested. But with all that said, I'll leave you with that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.